to the business?
Getting into it, I had wanted to do it since I was like 7. Like a lot of people don't realize, they know I went to the Olympics and all of that, and so, but they don't realize I wanted to like be a professional wrestler far before I ever like even dreamed of the Olympics. So it was just always, there wasn't like one wrestler that I was like, man, he makes me want to be a wrestler. The whole business like attracted me from a very young age, like the pageantry, the athleticism, the spectacle of it all. I just like was drawn to it, and it never left me from the time I was a kid. But yeah, I've gone through phases where I was a fan of everything, man, like from Japanese wrestling to lucha libre, wrestling, everything.
As a fan of wrestling, what would you say is your favorite match of all time?
Well, seeing that it's WrestleMania weekend, like one of my favorite matches, maybe my favorite, was Bret versus Owen from WrestleMania 10, because of the story they told and just being brother versus brother, and it was the simplicity of the match, but also like the detail that they did put into everything. The intricacies, if you pay attention, it was so special and so well done. Like I think it sounds like kind of nerdy sometimes, but I think of wrestling like it's a piece of art. Each match itself can be like a piece of art, you know, and like that to me is just like the Mona Lisa, man. It's like you could hang it anywhere. It's just perfect. It lives to this day in perfection. So.
How hard is it to transition from Olympics to professional wrestling?
Physically, it was not so difficult. Obviously, the physical part came easy. It was just the allowing myself to be more vulnerable to people and like letting people in, you know, communicating, promos, people like to call them. Like when I first got to NXT and had to like stand in front of 70 people, my peers in NXT and the other superstars that to me at the time just seemed larger than life. You can imagine getting thrust in front of 70 or 75 of them, people that you've never met before, and they're all like, in your mind, they're just judging you from that moment. So there was like a time period there where I was like, I don't know if I can handle this. To get through it, and finally you get comfortable. So just that whole thing of letting yourself be vulnerable, it's not easy.
With your wrestling background, do you think you'd ever try out like MMA?
I've been asked that a lot, and I just never had the interest. I don't know what, maybe it's because my arms are so short. I don't know if I'd be very good. But no, I was never interested in fighting. Wrestling was always, I loved Greco-Roman wrestling since I was like 7, so it never appealed to me.
Chad, do you think John Cena will break the record, and who do you think is the greatest of all time?
Greatest of all time is such a hard question. I think technically it might be Bret Hart.
Who's your top 5?
What's your Mount
Rushmore? Mount Rushmore.
This is a little, for those that don't watch Japanese wrestling, it's hard, but so Kenta Kobashi is a guy from Japan. He's in my top 5. Jushin Liger, Bret Hart, Kurt Angle. And then I go back and forth, you know, on the last one. Could be Ric Flair. Shawn Michaels deserves a mention in that. So go back and forth between those two.
Who would be, in terms of like British wrestling, that you know, that you feel like is up and coming or should be in the WWE?
Up and coming?
Yeah.
I don't know about up and coming as far as British wrestlers, but when I said I tape traded back in the day and like collected, Johnny Saint was like one of my favorite wrestlers. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of him, but he did like what I almost call trick wrestling, like real technical, deep stuff. And they brought Johnny Saint to NXT like my second year there, and he picked me, I don't know how, or someone told him that I was a fan, but I got to get in the ring with him for like 90 minutes straight and just have him demonstrate all this stuff on me to everybody in the PC. And then afterwards, he had me do it to him, and then he basically gave it to me to use like in NXT. So if there's like all this stuff on tape down from NXT, those small live events we would do of me doing like all Johnny Saint stuff because I had his permission. It was almost like a gift, you know. He handed it over to me. It was like the coolest thing in the world. So.
Did you ever watch Big Daddy?
Oh yes, very entertaining.
Since you're fighting all the luchadors, what was your match with Grande?
What? Ooh, that's a good one, man. I don't know.
This might be a good question to like
we both got it written into our contracts. Actually, we don't appear to wrestle on the same night. As of now, that's how it is.
One of you had the doctor's note at the time.
Yeah. I got a whole stack of doctor's notes.
One more question. Yeah.
What do you think about Julius Creed going over to UFC possibly?
I think it'd be amazing. I think he's the guy for it. His level of knowledge with that stuff goes so deep. Once he starts talking about it, you got to stop him, or he'll just talk all night. But he's like, I would have no trouble saying one of the best athletes we have in the company, if not the best. He'd be successful, and I think you might see it happen sooner than later. So, it'd be cool.
Chad, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
ripping
Thank you,
cars
Chad.
with